You want details? Fine. I drive a Ferrari 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid. So, now you know what's possible. Let me tell you what's required.
Life advicerr@gmail.com. We've got Kyle and we've got Oregon. Hopefully, just in the mix here. Cerruti off this week. So, Mexico, I believe.
Yeah, so a little more Oregon. Just be ready.
Yeah. A lot of people ask about Oregon. Very excited about this. All right, destination wedding miss invite. Long time listener, first time emailer. So my wife married at the end of last year. It was a beautiful destination wedding. We planned it for over a year. No expenses spared. I would include more specific details, but I'm wary because the folks I'm telling you about might be listeners. Uh-oh. For our wedding, we invited around 200 guests.
To a destination?
That's a lot of people.
I thought you do that so that everyone's like, oh, he only had like 15 people there. Like, what do you expect? I thought that was like the way to get out of that. But I guess you can go the other way.
Doing it big. It's customary in our culture to invite a bunch of people, including people you might not know too well, which leads to the problem at hand. All right. Okay. My wife is an incredibly gracious person who always sees the good in people, unlike me, who is discerning to the point of being accused of negative or presumptuous. But when you live in a big city like I do, I'll leave out the city. I say that being speculative of people entering your inner circle is always a good idea. Yeah, I can understand that. Relate to that. Maybe it's better to be more like your wife, but I don't know. I don't know about that one. With that in mind, leading up to the wedding, some of our close friends weren't able to attend the wedding, partly for financial reasons, some for health reasons. So we had a couple open spots. My wife heard word for her family that her family friend and his wife were moving to our city. So she thought it was a good idea to meet them and welcome them. They came over for dinner and it was pleasant enough, but that in my eyes certified keepers. They were the epitome of nice people with little to say in that awkward silence. My wife took it upon herself to invite them to our wedding. Wow, that's quick. I was a bit shocked when she did so because we just met them. And in our nonverbal communication, it seemed like we had just liked this couple just okay. Cut to them actually immediately buying plane tickets for our wedding, which I stressed was expensive as a destination wedding, and buying outfits, etc. Now the real crazy starts, the wedding itself. When they arrive, they tell one of our close friends who was on the same plane as them that they hired a photo and video crew to follow around the city leading up to the wedding so they could release content. They also took the video crew to our wedding venue the day after our ceremony. Our venue was an hour outside of the city. So just think about that. They hired a video crew and drove themselves an hour outside of the city just to make content of themselves for Instagram. And the wedding, after the wedding, we dove down through their social media profiles and realized that these people are aspiring influencers, writing fake articles about their relationship, getting on the local news to talk about themselves with no actual purpose or reason. It has quickly become our object of fascination and disgust. With all of that said, because my wife invited them to our wedding, they believe our friendship has been fast-tracked. Meanwhile, we kind of want nothing to do with them. How would you unwind what this friendship is and dodge future hangs without constant lying, which can get very old quickly? All right. That's it. Kyle?
It's just hard for me to come to grips with the reality of what happened. You know, I can't imagine if I was them while it was happening. I don't know anyone like this, like out in the wild. I don't know. I know those people exist, but I don't, I see them when I'm driving. I see like a guy on the sidewalk. He just puts his tripod down and then walks up to it. Like, like those people who will say like, get ready with me. And then like, or here's my day. And they show themselves coming home from work. It's like, wait a second. That guy drove his car home, got out, put the tripod out, got back in his car, left. And like, I've seen that. And I'm like, that's certainly a way to go about life. But those people have never been in my orbit. There's always been like a pane of glass in between me and them. So I really don't know how I would do this. I think disgust might be a harsh word, but I think it's the right one. I don't know. I think I would probably just lie about being busy all the time and hope these people get it. I don't know. This is muddy.
I do think the positive of this is that you realize that it's absurd. Your wife kind of realizes that it's absurd, and you're not dwelling on the negative.
There's no
right?
internal rift between you.
Yeah.
Like she
Yeah.
gets it. Okay.
I think there's a real positive that you kind of start there, but I mean, obviously that's not what you're asking and what you want the solution to be. Um, yeah, you're right. Like when you're somebody, and look, I'm sure we have listeners that this is what they do, and for some people they can make a living off of this. And we just talked about this last week, where like when you're in on the content game, and this is what you're going to do, and you're going to be an influencer, you have to be all in. You have to think that prepping for your day is actually interesting
Callous
enough.
to the absurdity of it all.
Yeah, yeah. Like, who was it? That guy, Drew, who would just like set up the tripod to go to Target.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was so ridiculous that it actually became a thing. So it was like, well, who's really winning? Like if people are watching this guy's stuff, and he would kind of do like, it was almost of the like Christian Bale and American Psycho were an influencer. Like I start with
he would totally
right, an almond face cream to make sure that I'm hydrated, but no alcohol to prevent aging. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I think there's also, I don't know if it's like inherent narcissism, but there's something to you to think that people would care, but it's worked. It's worked for so many people that, as we talked about last week, it's very enticing because you're kind of like, well, I could just do that. And if that person is doing this, like there's nothing that special about it. So why can't I just do that? And it's like a rather appealing thing of like, that's a potential lane that I can have. And that's why you see so many people doing it. So I'm not even sure that I would necessarily knock anyone for doing it. But yeah, it feels like a real qualifier. Like, hey, have you ever gone to a stranger's wedding and hired a video crew to then document it and then upload all of that content? You have? Okay. That's a very specific yes to something there. So to cut them out, I don't know. I'm sure they'll probably figure it out at some point. Morgan, you have anything on this?
Yeah, I just can't get over inviting people you've met once to your wedding. Like I'm trying to talk my fiance into acting like friends from our wedding. Like, yeah, we're friends with these people now, but like 5 years from now, we're gonna be friends with them. 120 a plate, like who knows?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I'm losing all these battles, by the way.
Yeah, of course you are.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing. You don't need to fill just because you have a space for 10 tables of 15 people or whatever. Like you don't have to. It's like we could save $120 for every person just because people dropped out. You could just have less people. That is okay.
120 a plate, huh?
It's looking like it.
Yeah. I was about 104, but that was scary too.
And what was your total, Kyle?
104 a plate, I think.
But I mean total invites.
We did it. We had really hoped that like, good 10% of people wouldn't. And it just turns out those people just forgot to RSVP. And we found out like a couple days before, they're like, oh yeah, there's actually 16 extra people coming. So yeah, I think we were around like 150, 160. I think we had to ask them to put, I think it was like 153 or something. We booked a thing that was supposed to be 150 max. And, I don't know. Some people just, I don't know, had never heard of an RSVP. We did take a bit of a gamble. Like, I'm not sending note cards out for them to then put note cards back in the mail. I'm not paying for double postage. I was like, we'll just do this QR code website thing. And some of the olds just were like, I don't do that, but I'm still coming. So we did take a bit of a gamble with doing the online registration for coming to the wedding. And there's just a few folks north of 70 who are just like, I won't be bothered with that. But you will have my prime rib and a plate for me. So
yeah, the non-RSVP thing I always thought was like a guy in his 20s deal, because I did it twice. I'm sorry. But one was I didn't realize the wedding was that weekend. And then I had to tell the guy, I was like, oh, I actually can't do it. And it was,
I remember this one.
It was bad because I invited him to something and he was like, I'm getting married, dickhead, that weekend. And then he's like, are you coming? I went, ooh, yeah.
I'm actually doing the thing I've invited you.
Yeah. No, it was bad. I mean, it was like a really bad, I just,
you couldn't even lie and come up with a good thing because you just tried to get him to do something.
Yeah. But I mean, he kind of understood my deal at that time and then was like, why don't you just try to come down for the reception Saturday night or something? And I was like, I don't know. I think it was NFL draft weekend. I did a show at Foxborough. I think Yankees Sox was that weekend and the Celtics were in the playoffs. And I was just kind of starting. So it wasn't it wasn't in the cards that I was going to be able to go down, I think, to the Cape for like 3 days. And on top of everything else, I'm almost positive I didn't have the money to even pull up. So anyway, that's not really what this guy's asking about. But I think the good thing in this is that they're not core people. Like, yes, they went to your wedding, but clearly your standard of a wedding invite is looser than maybe anything we've ever heard. And maybe if they are that weird, they're kind of desperate for friends. Maybe they're not. Maybe you guys are awesome. Maybe they think they've just automatically made this connection with you, which I don't know that I could blame them because, again, your wife invited them to the wedding the first time you ever hung out with them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So the good thing, though, is that it's not like you're getting rid of some core guy that you've grown tired of. I've known this guy since I was a kid. We went to college together. We were roommates. My wife, whatever. Like, there's none of that here. So there's not that much of an attachment here. It shouldn't be hard to just go like, hey, well, it'll be just like before you came to our wedding where we weren't friends with you. And I guess, like, do you not like them only because of that? Is that enough? Is that enough to just be like, I don't want to be friends with somebody that would do that? Or
if
do
they're
all of us
doing
need
it,
to...
there's got to be something else.
Well, this guy
the
also
people that
said-
do this.
This guy also said he's sort of like Bill in a way where Bill's sort of like out until you prove that he should be in. When he's like, Bill's like not a no new friends kind of guy, but I think he's like, I'm pretty good. Like, you kind of got to give me a reason. I start basically 1 degree on the outside of center. Then you got to pull me in. And if that sounds like that's how this guy goes, he's just sort of like, you know what, with new people, I'm just closer to out than I am to in. And these people really pushed it way far down in that direction. So I think he's just like, yeah, I don't ever want to do this. Like, we're past the point of no return. We already started pretty much left of center, and now we're just way out.
I guess there could also be something here where your wife should probably be more upset if people were invited to your wedding and then they turned your wedding into some platform for them to do this stuff. But then sometimes I wonder if all of us just need to kind of update what we think is acceptable when it comes to this kind of stuff, because this is actually, this seems a little weird because you don't really know them all that well, but to hire the crew and to make it an opportunity for them to have new content, like, it's not like they're the only people doing this. Like, a lot of people are doing this, and they're just figuring out new ways to actually have generally the most boring day-to-day shit be considered something that's worth. Like, some of the people that crush it on the day-to-day stuff, I think the big joke is that it's so not interesting that people are fascinated about how not interesting it is, and then they still watch it. So the content person still kind of wins, even though it's like, it's not because this is good. It's, I can't believe it's like comedians. Like, I went to a stand-up show this weekend, and it was a lot of different people, and it depends on your tastes. There's stuff in all different directions, but like, sometimes I'll watch somebody who's struggling, right? Who's really, and it's hard to do. It's obviously hard to do. Some nights you could have the same material and the crowd just responds to it in a much better way. But there was a couple that just weren't very good. And you're watching it happen and you're thinking like, I kind of admire your confidence.
Yeah, how are you still up there?
Yeah, that you were doing this in the mirror and you're like, this is going to kill and this is what I want to do. And then you're watching it. You're almost offended by the confidence in a way. But I don't know. I'm sounding mean about something that's really, really tough to do. As an aside, Mark Maron was one of the headliners, and it was a tough crowd. It was a weird crowd. I don't know if it was because it was early and people weren't drinking enough, but there was this group that was really loud, and they were too loud. They were way too loud to be at a comedy show, and they were being obnoxious, and Maron like snapped. And I'm not saying this to be like critical of Maron, but it was the kind of thing, like, if you get anxiety from uncomfortable situations, like, you would have had an awful time.
Oh, dude. I saw Maron at the Comedy Store, and he just basically bitched for 15 minutes about being bumped. I think it was that night. Like, he was bumped like a couple spots down, and he was just like, this is my time, is I'm bitching about being bumped. And it was just like, all right.
3 people got thrown out. Like, they were yelling, "We used to be fans." I mean, it was like, then this other couple almost got thrown out, and like, the guy that he yelled back at him after 5 minutes was like, "You're losing the room."
Oh no.
It was, if you are super uncomfortable when things are uncomfortable, this would have been hell for you. Nobody would, like, people were kind of like fired up to see Marin, and he actually kind of recovered because he's a lifer and he's been doing it a really long time, and it worked out to be really good. But there were these moments in there where you were like, "Whoa, this is weird." Like people were just kind of uncomfortable
Is this the
about the
special
whole
guest
thing.
tonight? No.
Yeah, because like he walked on and everybody's like, "Wait!" This woman screamed out like, "I love you," and he goes, "Yeah, we'll see you in 5 minutes." I also there was a really short comedian. Actually, I didn't even think he was short, but his routine was that I'm short, and he brought up some short facts that I thought made me feel bad for some of the shorter dudes out there. All right, next email. Okay, I have no game. All right.
I love the subject lines of these emails.
Yeah, and he sent us a picture of himself with his shirt off. All right. Cerruti, Kyle, Oregon. No, Ogeron is actually what that's a new one. A proud Australian listener, rugby player, 21 years old, been listening since 2018, 5'10", 245 pounds. Gym stats, squat 405 3 times, bench 314. 314?
Or you just say,
I'm going
why
to guess. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Maybe with those EU plates? I don't know.
Yeah. I guess I'm just thinking how the plates,
even numbers, right?
No, you could find a way to put them together, I guess, for that. It seemed like way more of a hassle. Deadlift 500, NBA comp Dellavedova, a bit of a foil to the guy who wants to keep it strictly physical. Remember that guy who's hooking up all the time? As per the, I have no game. I'm 5'10", physique only impressive to dudes. Blonde hair, blue eyes, big solo bar guy, and usually can tell amusing stories all night and drink Carlton Draught.
What did he say about stories all night?
He can tell amusing stories all night. I'm a medical student, and as such, a lot of nerdy interest, lifting, movies, history. Dude? Careful. So on and so forth, which is also a tough sell to women. I've been on one date in my life. It was the 30th anniversary screening for Heat. She did not text me back. Is this guy fucking with us right now?
This might be the 30th anniversary for Heat is a little on the nose if we're doing a fake one.
Yeah, right. All right. She did not text me back. I've tried everything. Do more than enough bold approaches as far as living and drinking and going to bars. Tried getting female friends to set me up. Tried the apps. I just have no game. Definitely looking for something long-term romantic, although wouldn't turn down a one-night stand, especially as that's been my only experience. The most aggravating part is I'm a killer when it comes to dudes. Popular with my teammates and random guys I meet at bars think I rule. I've had multiple guys tell me unprompted I should start a podcast. I just got back from 2 weeks in Japan and made tons of friends there, and I don't speak Japanese. Before you ask, no success with the ladies there, despite a lot of attention, I guess. Why am I so repulsive to women? Need any advice on beating a cold streak? Most action I've had in the last 12 months is getting told I have beautiful eyes, physique attached, face is average. So yeah, he sent us a picture of himself at the gym with his shirt off. This guy's thick. He's got a banged up thumbnail too. So looks like he's willing to challenge himself or maybe, maybe hammer a broken board. Look, okay. Maybe that is your game. Maybe you have to do a little Costanza here. Just start with that.
Love it.
Hey, I have no game. And that's your game. Is it you get it all out of the open. I'm Doug. Nice to meet you. Terrible with women. How are you? It's a little different. Nothing is working right now. So the good thing is you're at 0. It can only get better. So maybe you lean into that a little bit, and that becomes if you said you're good in bars and you're good at telling stories and you're amusing, have your intro be something that's so self-deprecating and brutally honest and something that most dudes wouldn't say is perhaps the move. Kyle?
I'd say there's a few guys walking this earth for which the drought doesn't exist, but for the rest of us, droughts are real. Can make you go a little crazy. I think you might start getting crazy ideas, But I think
start pretending you like exes.
right? Or whatever it
Yeah.
is. I mean, stay off
Man, I
Craigslist.
really miss her.
You'll stay off Craigslist.
Stay off of Craigslist. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it could make you go a little crazy. I think it might feel like there's no end in sight, but there will be an end in sight. I guess, like Ryan said, maybe just your game is you have no game. Maybe that's charming to some people. Yeah, I mean, it won't last. I mean, you said he's in decent shape. There's a lot of dudes in bad shape. I mean, it's maybe you're just in the wrong rooms. You got to stand out more. I don't know where you're going to hang out, but I mean, like if you go to my bar as your solo bar, you're probably not going to have too many chances. So maybe you just got to be in different rooms. I don't know where you are. Do people still do speed dating? Everyone's kind of on the same page in those places. Can you go can you do that for a little bit? I don't know. It sounds like you're not stepping out of your comfort zone. I mean, Japan, you probably went for you, not to meet foreign women, I think. So I think maybe just change the pools you're swimming in.
The Japans can be tough, I think.
Still on the Japans. I like it.
Oregon.
I think you use like your game with the guys to your advantage, use your guy friends to like meet their girlfriends, like have them introduce you to people or just like be in their groups, friends of friends, have them set you up with people, just things like that. You got no game, but just like be around girls, things like that.
Go out with your handsome friend, catch the runoff,
right?
Like see how that works.
Yeah.
Or get uglier friends.
There you go.
The most unattractive friends ever. Just seek them out, recruit them. Be like, hi. Yeah, I mean, this email's funny enough, and you're pretty self-deprecating, and socially, it sounds like you're pretty comfortable in all these other settings. You just got to figure out what the equation is here to have this work in a way that it's never worked before. I also wonder too if like bummed out about it, if you're maybe a little too eager, and that eagerness comes off.
Right,
you're in like a spiral.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're used to it,
red. I don't know. Maybe there's something. Maybe there's something where it's just like they can smell it on you, and everything's fine. You talk a good game until the lights on that comedy stage go on, and you just bomb. I mean, it could be that like everything. The plan sounds good until you're in it, and then it's just everything goes wrong.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I wish I had more specifics to all of this, but it sounds like you're working. It's not like socially you can't do anything, right? Sometimes we'll have people write in and you can just tell like the social part of life is just an awkward situation for them and they're not comfortable. And it seems like you're comfortable in a lot of the settings that you think could work when it comes to talking to women. But yeah, it sounds like you need to just change up the game plan here a little bit. And if it starts from being really self-deprecating and your buddy's like giving you a hard time about it, you might get sympathy runoff where it turns into like, hey, this guy's 5'10" and benches just under a pound of what would be 6 plates. But,
it's got to be the kilo conversion. That's got to be what it is.
No, I'm sure there's something going on because, I mean, if you really, really are into lifting, you can order all sorts of like sizes of plates. If you're trying to, people deadlifting out there with like half-pound plates being like this close. But I would just think bench pressing would just be such a pain in the ass to load up. I don't even know what the number would be in my head. All right. Yeah. So I don't know if we really helped him at all. Maybe
hopefully
the first guy.
Real. The 30th anniversary heat date thing, that threw me, but it was a good email. Otherwise, I'm sure there's someone that does have that problem if this is fake.
Yeah. And if she didn't like heat, dodge a bullet. Anyway. All right. I feel like we missed Cerruti a little bit today.
Yeah. I mean, we expected. It's nice to see work on the no.
I love that he just admitted he's trying to cut. How many people? What's your max number for your wedding?
We invited 130-ish.
Oh, that's
would love to be like 120, 115.
You wanted to get it to 115 and she said no?
We're just hoping people don't come. We'll see. Mom just broke up with her boyfriend, so that's a big plus.
Who, your mom?
No, her mom just broke up with the boyfriend.
No, I'd be happy if
another one bites
mom,
the dust.
That's terrible, dude. I mean, you're sitting there being like, all right, that's one less.
One less.
heading in the right direction.
Anyone
My
else
mom's-
on the rocks here? Yes.
Yeah. you started like, did you know? Like, I don't think he went there for a work trip.
We're like sowing seeds in people's relationships now. Yeah.
Oh no, I mean, I'm not saying anything. It's just I had heard. Like, all right, two more are out. All right. Thanks to everybody for listening to the pod. Today will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as usual. We go into 2 days, though, Tuesday, Thursday soon, as Bill and I get started after the All-Star break for our Sunday pods. So please check out our YouTube page and subscribe to the Ryen Russillo podcast. Thanks to Morgan and our guy, Kyle. Ryen Russillo podcast for your Spotify.